A warm welcome from CXOTV.news, a flagship brand under Techplus Media Group. I am Anand Sharma, Executive Director at Techplus Media and your host for today's event. I'm super excited to bring yet another event under the series titled Marketing Mondays. We initiated the series when the lockdown started to provide a platform to marketeers to learn from fellow marketing gurus. Today we bring a very relevant topic on festive marketing. Well, neither the COVID pandemic is giving up, testing our resolution to fight, nor have we. With the festival season, we all look forward to life and festivities, of course, in a safe manner. We all want to make the most of the festival season, and let's uncover how marketing should prepare or respond to it. The key items we plan to cover today are as follows. What is festive marketing? What does a CMO need to do so that the company gets the best share of consumer spend? Some do's and don'ts, also short sprint versus long haul. What sort of technology interventions can be implemented? And a brand that cares as well as celebrates. How do we go about it? In case you want us to cover any other topic or have a question, please mention that in the Q&A section or chat panel. We have an eminent panel today. Let me introduce the panelists to you. It's my pleasure and privilege to host Ms. Komal Somani. Komal has a long list of accolades and accomplishments attached to her. She is founder of Great Ideas in Action, Happiness Infuser, Chief Brand Officer at ESDS Software Solution over the last 8 years, and also working as a CMO at Resvera Winery. Welcome, Komal.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be at this forum and an opportunity to share my views and knowledge, whatever I carry. So thank you for having me.
Our second panelist is Mr. Rajesh Radhakrishnan. Rajesh has 26 plus years of wide experience in heading diverse businesses. He is the co-founder and CMO at Vritti Solutions Limited, an IT and IT-enabled media company. Vritti has been recognized as the champions of rural market by ET, the most admirable rural marketing at the Asian Consumer Engagement Forum for last 3 years, and has also won the National Media Owner at the Outdoor Asia Awards 2020. Prior to Vritti, Rajesh has worked at Wipro, Satyam, and Patni. Welcome, Rajesh.
Right. Thanks, Anand, for a very nice introduction, and looking forward to have a chat with all of you and the entire audience.
Thank you, Rajesh. Last but certainly not the least is Deepti. Deepti has over 15 years of work ex with many corporate houses like American Express, Tata Nelco, Messe Frankfurt, to name a few. Deepti has been overseeing the marketing of India and Sri Lanka at SUSE Systems for the last 4 years. Deepti has led global marketing programs that contributed to increase in sales revenue and brand awareness, and has been recognized for highly effective communication programs that quickly penetrated target customer groups. Welcome once again, Deepti.
Thank you so much, Anand. It's really my privilege to be at this platform and really appreciate your support in driving this marketing initiatives. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Guys, we welcome Komal, Rajesh, and Deepti. We have a great panel today from established firms like ESDS, SUSE, and Vritti Media, who have been adding value to the marketing community at large. Without much ado, let me start the discussion. Komal, starting with you. This is a season of festivals and moods are positive and high. How do you see the consumer is responding to this year in particular? And what are the companies doing about it? Over to you, Komal.
So, like India is a land of festivals. We know that well. So many festivals are celebrated, whether it is like regional festivals or national festivals, and wherein like in Western countries they hardly have 2 to 3 festivals to celebrate. So definitely, festive marketing brings in a lot of touch points where we can interact with our consumers, prospects, and a good chance for marketing. So definitely, like Amazon and Flipkart, they come up with great Indian sell, and they benefit a lot out of such festive because whenever you have some festivals, you're thinking of buying something, so there is some message that you're giving. So using the consumer financing, different ways to maybe you're offering discounts or in some other way giving discounts via EMIs. So this 2 platforms have done very well. But sales is not like something that comes goes with all the other organizations. So suppose I'm from ESDS, and giving discounts or doing something like that will not work. So this marketing strategy will not work for ESDS. So what we have done, like ESDS has a vision statement that we want to create a technologically advanced greener planet, and we want to plant 1 billion trees. So during this festive times, we use this touch points to show like our brand value, what our brand is all about, and we designed our campaigns in sync with the greener Diwali, celebrate green Diwali rather than bursting crackers, so plant trees. So it has come out quite well. So recently we have seen Cadbury also coming up with indirect way of marketing, the way the vocal for local campaign. They have 1800 pin codes they have covered, local shops they have covered, and the way they have helped people during this tough times. So it is indirect way of marketing, but they have executed like using AI, and they have used technology, and fantastic way of marketing. So every organization will not have the same strategy. If maybe giving discount would work for someone else, but may not work for. So we should use this festive opportunities, because we have seen a lot of shift during this COVID time, 180-degree or U-turn shift in the way consumer is responding, behaving, or their choices and preferences definitely have changed. So analyzing that, you can craft your marketing strategy for festive needs, and we have ample festivals to create this touch points. So that's from my.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Rajesh, how do you see overall business landscape and marketing segment in particular unfolding? Since you hold a dual office of co-founder as well as CMO, how do you see the overall business scenario unfolding, and particularly how the audience should take it as to what we should prepare for?
See, let me give a perspective here, because I would like to take you back to 1980 to 2000. Okay, when actually the communism actually ended, and we are called the era of liberalization. World over, the countries were struggling. Okay, and I think we thought the world, everybody was facing recession, and the whole world was kind of a situation, and humanity, fought back, and we came back. So I think it was really, I mean, our country also, stood up, and we came out of all the bad scenarios, and we stuck success and got into liberalization. Similarly, 2000 to 20, we thought it was the beginning of Y2K bug. We thought businesses will end, and so many scenarios came up, a lot of rising unemployment, but Indian IT stood up, and we were the carriers of the flag, and getting the entire industry back in action. So likewise, 2020, we are faced with a crisis. So COVID-19 is one such scenario. I think humanity will fight back 110%. We see this every 20 years something or other coming up, I call it, and we will come back out of this situation. And in fact, we have already started. Okay, and if you look at it, October, auto sector, which is considered to be a space where we thought, not much of expense will happen, but Dashara, you have Hero motorcycles growing up by 34%. Okay. Maruti growing up by 18% over last year, previous year, October. So Diwali also, I mean, they did tremendous. The figures are not out, but I mean, a lot of good sale. We may call it pent up demand. A lot of people will say, March to April, March to September, there was hardly any business. But still, if you look at it, the vibrancy is there. The mood is positive. Okay. And I mean, practically the new players like MG, they all are doing extremely well. Yeah, I mean, and I see one more thing is, see what has got impact. Let me present the other part is the consumer will become more wary, and he is going to save on cash. He feels that there's going to be rising unemployment. Overall mood will come back. People are wary. People will save on cash, like retail banking. It has got -2%. So people are not taking loans. That shows that people are saving on cash. Okay, and if you look at this mood, so here comes the owners of market here, who needs to be very adroit, skillful, and come out with interesting campaigns, which will have, which should be executed in tight budgets, should be agile, should do things very quickly. 15 to 30 days or 7 days. Also, the campaign should not have more than that life. And maybe most important is you need to be adaptable. He needs to think how to change, given and measure and change very quickly. So these are some of the things which I see as big direction in the coming 20, and I'm very optimistic that we'll recover out of this very quickly. Thank you.
Absolutely, we all are optimistic, but I'll come back with a request, very specific instances from your experience, that the people can take away from this. Okay, so I'll come back to you on that, Rajesh. Thanks for this. Moving on to Deepti, in a marketing function, what do you see that there's a need to do so that the company gets a maximum wallet share or best share of consumer spend during this time?
Well, thanks, Anand, for the question. I hope everybody would agree that the way we used to function earlier, post, the pre-COVID time, marketing used to be entirely a different portfolio altogether. But where we stand today, what budgets which we have got it, the way we have to align our marketing campaigns is entirely different. There are a segment of people who are, sitting back at home. There's a huge cost cutting, there's a huge change, because initially where we used to do a lot of physical events, it used to be so exhaustive in terms of the resources, in terms of the time, energy, bandwidth of people, Today, the cost has pertainingly cut down, because everything has been digitalized right now. Everything is online right now, So in terms of budget, yes, there's a huge cut from the company, but it has become more affordable even because, as I said, everything is online. But of course, there's a lot more responsibility as a marketer. Just to give one of the example, one of the biggest brand, I don't want to name it right now, did suffer a few backlashes right now because of their advertisements, right? So as a marketer now, we have a huge responsibility where we understand the market, understand the sentiments, rather than just designing the marketing strategy. We have to empathetically more work towards the sentiments. Marketing has become more humane now, apart from being digitalized. It's more connected, the way we touch base with our sales, with our CTOs, with the other arms of the organization, how we can make it more connected, streamline the messaging, personalize it, and target to the segment, to their needs. That is what exactly the customers or the consumer segment is looking for. So I feel it's a huge responsibility for us. As a marketer, we have always been, on the edge. But this pandemic, this disruption has changed the entire thing. I guess almost each and every company, the marketer where holds a CMO position or the department is feeling, the challenge, how to drive it, because there's a huge on the top, you have a pipeline generation, you have a branding thing, you have a PR initiatives, you have the company brand image where you have to do the health check, everything. So I guess a huge change to the marketing division as a whole, marketing persona as a whole. But I guess this is the best timing for us to portray, to show the competencies. And I guess in future, CMO is definitely gonna be a profile where people would look forward for, because you are gonna position the brand in front of the public.
Quite interesting. Thank you so much, Deepti. I'll take the branding discussion forward once I come back to you. So Komal, moving on to you. In festival times, we have all seen that companies do plan to get the wallet share. They succeed as well, right? Uh, Meanwhile, it's also about messaging and what we want to communicate, or what Deepti was referring to, right? The value we offer. Okay. How would you recommend to strike a balance between the short sprint, which is, let's say, revenue generation during festive time, and the long haul of branding during this time, right? This assumes importance from what we have seen during the Tanishq branding recently. I don't know, Deepti, if we were referring to that, but Tanishq was all in all news for various reasons. So, what are your thoughts, Komal? And
Uh, During short sprint, we definitely use impulsive buying tactics where we design campaigns and we create that impulse to buy now. So festivals are a great time to do that. But definitely in long term, a brand cannot be compromised. So one of our such initiatives was at Rasvera. So Rasvera launched its Jamun wine and it launched it in lockdown during COVID time. And during those times, everyone was thinking about immunity, about health. And jamun being the god of fruit, it carries a lot of nutritional value. So we positioned ourselves that way, like that alcohol is always considered to be, injurious to health. Like, it is always written on a bottle. But we started promoting jamun and what are the benefits that it carries. And we had a stock which was supposed to be consumed, like, sold out in 1 year span. And because of this impulsive marketing during COVID times, we were sold out in less than 2 months. So that's the impact of impulsive marketing. But definitely what has worked for COVID times during may not work for long term. So as a brand, uh, uh, you need to have a long term strategy in place. So social environment connect is something that we have used to connect with and this has created a lot of buzz and a lot of value it has added to the our brand. So definitely, like Lifebuoy during COVID times, the Lifebuoy hand wash. So they launched a campaign and they say they never promoted themselves. It was not selling their product. And they say ki whatever soap you use, whatever hand wash you use, make sure, like, your hands are, like, clean. And so that way portraying ki, like, we care for you. It's just not about
absolutely.
selling our product. We
Hmm.
care for you. Whatever you use, be safe. So this way, so definitely we need to have a perfect mix and blend of during, like, something that is impulsive buying, a short term, and a long term brand strategy in not getting compromised at the end.
Sure. No, so my question was more from the perspective of also from financial angle, because brand building or value creation is a time consuming exercise, right? When I say time, I can certainly mentioning about resources. So whether it is a time resource or a financial resource or human resource, so on and so forth, right? So how do we strike a balance wherein there is a need to capitalize on the festive mood of the consumer, at the same point of time do the long-term brand building?
That's what is, like, key having balance, like understanding your organization, what are your background about your finances and all. So
Sure.
designing things because long term you have to keep in vision, but definitely short term matters a lot. So what quickly you can, so designing smart goals will definitely help, which are timely, achievable, measurable and all. So designing something that way will definitely help
And I
in
think
long.
sure. You rightly mentioned that it depends from product to product, right? It all depends on how what strategy you need to adopt for different product. For example, you give the right example of wine and the festive mood. So I clearly understand that. Thanks for that, Komal. Uh, Rajesh, moving on to my next question. I read somewhere from celebrating responsibly to taking up the responsibility of celebration. So, how do you like? What do you think on those lines? What are your thoughts on that?
very apt statement. And important part is marketeers need to change and need to rethink. As Deepti also mentioned, everywhere it's the same. Given this situation, marketeers need to change their style of marketing. And one thing is very clear. Earlier, we used to all market during festivals very aggressively. Demand generation, lead generation used to be the focus. Now, one big change is the emotional connect. Okay, it's going to be very relevant. You're going to walk with the customer in their lives. Okay, you're going to make some impact in their lives because everybody is stressed out. Celebration means, I call it a state of mind because it's linked to joy. And if you link it to joy, you have to make an impact. Okay, and you need to change. And celebration can be achieved practically every day for some reason or other. And that's what I think most of the big companies who are doing excellent marketing, like Mondelez, Cadbury's, and Coke, they are actually getting you to celebrate practically every day, because you're all stressed out. You're busy. You've got a lot of issues in hand. Okay, and when you want to deal with such issues, marketeer needs to think that how can I bring some joy every day in some form or other. It's just being a small party at home, you want to celebrate, or want to go out with a friend, want to celebrate, want to go with your fiance, or it can be anything. I mean, you need to really think, construct, create small communities and target communities and use influencers and make this happen. Because see, celebration, as you rightly mentioned, it's a responsibility. I think people have understood more in this pandemic, and during this Diwali, I've seen campaigns by Asian Paints, campaign by so many brands. I mean, a lot of interesting, like Mondelez, which you mentioned, kuch meetha ho jaye. So all this are very iconic in nature because people have understood and they have been quick to read the situation. They have understood how the mindset, the work from home mindset, you're not meeting your friends, you're not meeting your relatives. Okay, you're still going to enjoy. I've seen Citibank advertising. I mean, cutting across. I think, digital has really taken over during this period, and people have understood how to use digital, I would say, for the first time. I mean, barring few of the brands, rest all used to use it only for lead generation. So I think everybody has understood this is the best time, okay, where you could put across concepts, you could put across ideas which can have a larger impact. And we also did in Vritti a lot of interesting campaigns as a combination of both online and offline, but it's a BTL amplified with digital. So like one such thing is, Seva Ko Salam, okay, which is actually during this period, we all know the police was played a vital role because they are supposed to actually, take care of criminals. They were put in an awkward situation of dealing with the pandemic and, getting normal citizens not to come out of the house. Okay, now what we did was to test what is the mindset of the public, with respect to police, because we know that police and public don't have a good relationship. We always doubt. So it was a tie with Delhi police, and we actually went out with a van, met people, consumers, and took a dipstick. It was feedback taking. What exactly are the people thinking about the police? So it was a kind of a drive where a flex was given to them where they had to write about Delhi police. Okay, and appreciation. So a phenomenal response, excellent appreciation. I mean, from all the police, for all the guys, and talking very good about police, the kind of lives they have saved, kind of situations they have managed. Around the world, they've worked beyond call of duty to handle this situation. I mean, we hear many negative things from media many a times. Okay, but public at large are talking very positive about it, and this actually we amplified into form of event online, and and this was, I mean, the amazing part is Dabur Chyawanprash, okay, actually sponsored it. I mean, I'm talking about it later because Chyawanprash is actually Dabur's product which talks about immunity. Okay, now immunity is something which is required by police, required by common man, and we know that immunity has sold the maximum during this period. Okay, so celebrating immunity, okay, and bringing about that whole thing change, and bringing confidence, okay, amongst the public on police is an important change, and we actually celebrated that, and people wrote beautiful things, and this helped building confidence in the police on public that they are with us. Now we can do many things for them. I mean, this relationship is very important. And again, the community was targeted. So likewise, a lot of interesting campaigns happen online, and this was amplified across digitally, offline getting into online. A lot of integration can happen. We did a Karwa Chauth campaign with ITBP, Indo-Tibetan Border Police. Okay.
Wow.
So during these difficult situations, you need to be innovative and come out with campaigns which will make relevance and still make a brand felt. Brands can think and rethink.
Sure. I'm just curious as to what did he do with those people who wrote nasty things on the flags of Delhi police?
Yeah, we actually got that back to police, and we handled. See, nasty things. I mean, if you look at it, hardly. What we found was about 5 to 7%. This is an amazing part, which is great feedback. Okay, because Delhi police per se, whatever said and done, you have to deal with lot of communal issues. During this period.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
These communal issues can translate into bigger situations. Okay, so it was handled with care. So, but yet, we presented this back to the police to see. This, and there was a kind of felicitation which happened, and the commissioner level people got involved in this. Again, police also appreciated this whole effort. I think it was a different kind of a scenario, but for the brand, I think they got the necessary mileage which they were looking for, and it has got a lot of PR attention. Okay, and ultimately that's what any brand wants. Sure. Small campaign turning into bigger impact.
Sure. No, that was quite insightful, and that was on a lighter note, but if feedback given to any agency or any individual in the right manner is always taken earnestly, right? So moving on to my next thought that was rattling my mind, Deepti, over to you, Deepti. What sort of do's and don'ts you'd like to prescribe for the marketing teams while reaching out to customers during festival season?
Well, thanks, Anand, for the question. Basis my experience and what I'm seeing the industry growing right now, yes, it is a festive time, right? But there's two set of the segment right now. There's one segment post-COVID or during COVID, which was badly impacted. For them, it's actually not the festive season. And there's the other set of the segment where, it's the COVID turned out to be a cupid for them. They are driving business, they're driving more revenues. So as a marketing profession, it's our duty or probably responsibility, or how we kind of, connote our messaging to these two set of the audience. We cannot have the same set of the content marketing driving for both the segments, because then, we're going to have the backlash, we might be perceived as a wrong brand. And this is the best time where, you can build your loyal base, because I have been seeing a lot of customers or consumers kind of exploring the new set of the product, or probably a new set of the organization as a whole, to see how does that work for them. So I guess this is the time where you can work more stronger on the content marketing. You can see what are the sentiments of the people. You can drive your content around it, see what best messaging you can work it, see what's the target audience, and don't dump them with too much of information, with too much of practicality, So that's how probably I feel the messaging has to go about it. You need to be very careful in terms of the messaging. Of course, a lot of tools and technologies where you can actually deep dive the data. Citing some of the terms like big data, where you have technology, where you have tools, where you can drive certain statistics, and the basis on these statistics, you can drive your campaign. Now, these campaigns can be digital, because I'm sure you might be seeing it, because every day we are being bombarded with too many webinars, right? Because everything has gone digital now these days. And initially, people used to go to an event. We used to know, okay, if they are physically there at a particular place, they will continue at least for the whole day. So there was a pull to that for the physical event. But now these days, where everything is digitalized online, we have become like a golden fish. Our concentration session is just for a few seconds, we see these webinars coming, we see these programming coming, we always see what exactly is catchy, what's the marketing campaign? Is it hitting my heart? Is it hitting my brain? Is it hitting to what exactly I need? So what is selling and what's actually in demand, that has become the crux of today's time. You can be on the top building this content marketing, you can be on, down naming few of the brands which have actually suffered the backlash. Of course, what you cited, Anand, Tanesh, can recently, I guess, one of Ranveer's ad also suffered few backlash. So, of course, what we do, club it up with different channels, including social, including webinars, including panel discussions, including, various different channels, how we can actually promote it in a more organized, methodic way. That is what the requisite of today's time.
No, you have made me thinking, Deepti, very valid points. I'm also thinking as to, what sort of things people should abstain from doing. When I say people, I of course mean marketing people. Any thoughts on that? What we should abstain from doing?
See, abstain from doing, definitely that's not something which you can just predict it within a second, right? There's a lot of data where you need to study it, right? That's where I said there are technologies which are coming up where you can deep dive the data, where you can work along closely with your CTO, with your technology team, with your sales team, where you can analyze the data, what exactly you need to do it, how you need to pitch your target segment. Okay, who's your audience, how you can profile it, how you can target them actually, and what messaging can go into it, rather than just dumping and doing a mass strategy. So today's time is not about where you draft a 6-month strategy and you're done. No, we are at a pandemic stage. It's a disruption. You have to rethink and see how and what exactly you need to, do to kind of target your set of an audience. Definitely, it cannot be same. What we do it today might not be work tomorrow. In fact, what we were doing it almost 6 months back is just not working today. In fact, for the event organizers, for different organizations, everything got shelved within a second. What plans we were making, what budgets we were got, everything has put on hold, and we have to rethink, re-nurture our thoughts. So yes, a very critical phase, but at the same time a very sensitive phase. So we need to be very pragmatic, but at the same time very empathetically drive our campaigns, whether it's digital or probably in the time, maybe down the line 6 months, where we have a lot of physical needs too. But I guess this is the time where we can actually connect a lot with the sentiments of the people. This is the time where people are seeing it, valuing it, rather than what it used to be earlier. So I guess the biggest, what do you say, a chance for the marketers to showcase, this is exactly how the brand can be perceived by the audience.
I think very valid points, Deepti. And if I remember correctly, Komal was mentioning that if it was Lifebuoy ad, which was mentioning, that we don't care which soap or which one you use, but please do take care of your, hand sanitization. So yeah, the messaging that we are trying to spread across, this is not the time to hunt for marketing gimmicks or go out all out for wallet share, but at the same point of time, standing with the consumer, standing with your partners or your customers or your, the overall ecosystem, right? And how do you add value to it, right? So I totally, I'm with you. Komal, any piece of advice that you want to give to the marketeers from your experience? You have, you are heading a lot of companies, and that some take for our audience.
Definitely, Anand. So some from my personal experiences for doing with my clients. So one of my client comes from a fitness background. So she is a fitness coach. And when I asked her, what do you do exactly? So she says, I help people with weight loss, or I help them with fitness. I said, these are the most common jargons everyone is using, weight loss. And to me, it sounds very negative also, weight loss. It doesn't motivate me to join you. So how can you change the messaging? So she says, losing weight is all I do. So I asked her, like, if someone is not losing her weight, so how would she feel or how would he feel? And then we started jotting down many brand points, many points over there, pain points, which we will call it as. She says, like, people go into depression. They don't click pictures because they feel they're not fit enough. So they will not look pretty. So they don't click pictures. They are away from creating memories. They never go to garden because they know they cannot run with their kids. So they cannot say that to their kids, I cannot run, so that's why I'm not coming with you. They'll sit at one place. So they're losing on so many things. And we started designing our marketing campaigns around that. Like, okay, there was a photography day, and we designed one campaign there. Are you not in this picture just because you think you're not fit enough? We help you with that. So there are many things like that, which we has designed very differently, rather than promoting weight loss or fitness, which everyone is doing. Rather than being a generalist, how do we stand out? And this has created a lot of massive transformation in the number of people who joined her. So addressing the pain points and creating your campaigns around that definitely works. So one more example I would like to share is about Listerine. So Listerine has launched its mouthwash, and everyone knew, like, if mouthwash is killing germs, it has to have the bad odor or bad taste. It should be bad in taste. And so everyone, a few other organizations like started copying their business model, and they came into the same, like, we will design with some tweaks around. So they launched a mouthwash, and they were not getting market share. Listerine had a very high market share, and they were not getting. So here they found out their blue ocean, so a PNG. So they came out like, if mouthwash is killing germs, can it be good in taste also? And they launched something that was exactly opposite of that, which Listerine was offering, and it stood in competition, shoulder to shoulder with Listerine, PNG and all. So just copying some other organization will not help. Having your blue oceans and knowing it, how you'll become as a leader, you'll be perceived as a leader, even if it is a small category, that's okay, but you should sound as a leader rather than being a generalist. So this is the message I'd like to share with marketers, to identify your blue oceans where you can project yourself as a leader.
Oh, that's great. Rajesh, 2 cents from your end, and also if you can want to touch upon technology as to how technology can help in these challenging times.
Yeah. Anand, I mean, important point from a technology. See, I would like to again take this pandemic situation as both Deepti, I think Deepti is talking a lot of B2B market. There are quite a few guys sitting at home, have converted orders sitting at home, and develop new customers during this pandemic situation without meeting clients, which is itself is very unique for India. I mean, that's where technology is. Okay, without meeting, you can still close orders. All our books of sales only talk about understanding, sitting in front, sitting and talking about how exactly to interact, how to deal with people. There is no book refined for this. I think right now also we are doing the same thing. We're talking about technology, doing technology and having its own set of challenges, but we are doing it. So all these meetings are happening today, and this is one big change which has brought a new normal. Okay, and this is there to stay for a very long time, I guess. And I call it the era of collaboration here. Okay, each one of us are going to collaborate, and technology is going to be there in every piece. Okay, so here is it is there to stay. And if you look at the whole technology sense, whether it is working from home, you're controlling your people with various applications, so many apps coming in your life, fintech solutions. I mean, everywhere, every company, every traditional company is actually combining and tying up with small timers. A lot of entrepreneurs, new generation entrepreneurs, startups are coming, and I've come across this We Grow concept of PNG. They are talking about evaluating vendors across the globe. Okay, for crowdfunding and crowdsourcing, ideas. So these are all possible through apps. There is another app company who has provided them app to evaluate this kind of idea. So everywhere I'm seeing innovation happening, on technology front. So idea, there is a limitless idea, absolutely. And for every brand, large brand is going to tie up with smaller brand or small company or startup. Again, possible only through technology. I can send ideas to the topmost guy. He doesn't want to meet me. He's open to read my ideas through technology. So this is the main trend changer. The second most important for us also, we have used technology. I mean, we are into both B2B and to some extent on B2C space as well. We launched our e-commerce portal called app. It's an app for any dukan during this period. I mean, so far we have always been selling to B2B, looking at media solutions, marketing to top brands. We thought it's time to venture into e-commerce space. Okay, took this as an opportunity, jumped into it. Again, we thought we would take a different idea. I mean, there are many people who are doing this kind of work, but our main objective was how to enable these small retailers or empower them. We launched this concept is how we can get them ready for the next generation internet game. How to get them onto e-commerce platform. Give a platform to them where they can come online. Consumers can order the traditional grocery items, sweets, daily essentials, all directly from the retailer, direct payment to the retailer, direct brand management by the retailers. Okay, everything managed by them. I mean, the rest of the games, they are only a fulfiller. Here, we are saying they will control, they will put it, they will manage, we will help them market to the consumer. So we feel that this segment is very essential, and only they can change through technology, because going forward, internet game is going to be all pervasive. Okay, and if this segment is not going to change, they're not going to be there. Okay, I mean, because we see that next 10-15 years, all those who are not in internet space are very difficult to survive. You need to marry, you need to have all ways of entry, talking to the customers, omnipresent. You have to be omnipresent. That's the exact word. You need to be there. Where client will choose how to reach you. If I want to come to you, I will come to any of my channels which I like. If I want to go out, I will go out and shop. I have a mood. If I decide no, then I'll sit at home and I want to get service right at home. And they are best present. We also have this. I told you we have this marketing tool called and promotional called Audio Wala Bus Stand, which is a kind of a marketing and promotional medium to help brands reach to small town and rural India. Again, it's a digital out of home tool, okay, which we have created way back in 2005. So this was down for a while because this is again tie up with state transports we have delivered. State transport is the biggest carrier to reach rural India. So we have tied up with them. We run audio announcements. In between announcements, we run advertisements. Okay, so this is a kind of a media which you need to listen. You have no choice but to listen. Okay, we can think local ideas, local concepts. Localized communication can happen through this medium, and this has really caught up. We were having a lot of challenges because being a unique medium, there's no competition. You are not in the main line. But during this period, people were looking at cost-effective models. So this was also kicked off. We got inquiries from bigger brands also to evaluate such kind of medium, because traditionally TV, radio, print, there are enough media options, and to reach mass medium use like us, it's always challenging to pitch. But this kind of technology presence where we had solutions helped during this pandemic. So everywhere, I think technology is definitely going to play a vital role.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rajesh. Thank you so much. I'm coming back towards my last few questions. Deepti, we have heard that a brand that cares as well as celebrates is what people look for, right? So what sort of advice you'd like to provide to our audience on this? And guys, in case you have any questions, this for the audience, please raise your hand. I can let you speak, or else you can put your comments on the question answer session. Over to you, Deepti.
Well, thanks, Anand, for the question. Brand seems to be a very small 5-letter word, but trust me, it's a huge, huge thing. As a marketer, where just assume we are a tree, and we have different arms being trenched out, which includes PR, which includes press, which includes digital platforms, which includes email campaigns, website optimization. There's so much we have to do it. And there's a lot of effort which goes around, making sure that we have a consistent messaging, which is being portrayed across different channels, different platform targeted to the set of the audience. So of course, it's a huge responsibility as a marketer, because how we do keep continuing doing the health check, that's very important. How people are perceiving us as a brand, how people are reacting to our campaigns, how people are reacting to our content, how many clicks we have it to a particular campaign, how many probably CTRs we have it to a particular advertisements, or probably how many people have actually seeing a particular campaign. So there are so many things where we can actually break down, analyze it. Where do we stand as a brand? Are people just skipping off our campaigns? Are people there stable reading it? How many people are clicking it and actually landing to our main landing page, so that we can actually get their details and can actually reach out? Because at the end, marketers are always responsible for generating revenue. Whatever we do, whether we do PR, which is kind of considered a most intangible asset of any marketers, right? It's more perceived as branding awareness, right? But everywhere, whatever we do, at the end, it actually funnelizes to what kind of a sales pipeline we can build it. So yes, there are few things which are more tangible. There are few things which are more intangible. Branding is one of that aspect. And yes, it requires a lot of effort, lot of study, lot of R&D, where you can do it, deep dive it, analyze it, do more tactical steps to kind of reach out to your set of the targeted audience. As I said, the different channels where you drive your campaigns, where you drive your activities, you can break it down and perceive and see how your brand has been acknowledged by the set of the audience. And then you can tweak your campaigning, and then you can tweak your the content, your marketing strategy. So it cannot be what you draft today, it's gonna work. You have to keep on changing it, keep on making it more dynamic for your particular set of an audience. Because as I said, post-COVID, or this time, is the time of disruption for the marketing. What new we can think it, because I have been working with SUSE for past 4 years. What I see today during this pandemic is entirely different. There are a lot of people on the top changing. There are a lot of people who are quitting. There are a lot of people who have been asked to move out. Because what I've understood, change has become the new norm altogether. If you do not capitalize this time, if you do not change, if you cannot become nimble, probably you'll just dissolve like a bubble of water. So yes, we have to pull up our socks, and make sure that our organization, our corporate, is being perceived as one of the greatest brand. You have your consumers, you have your customers who become a loyal base, where you can retain your customer segments. At the same time, you can pull up new set of the audiences, or probably new set of customers, because that's marketing is always all about, right? You can keep on retaining your customers, and you can keep building up your new targeted set of the list. And that's how the business will keep on churning. So yes, for me, branding is all about 360-degree marketing. All your points needs to be well connected. Messages need to be consistent. It needs to be empathetically reached out to your particular set of the audience. Of course, not a mass strategy, but yes, very directed, very motivated, and of course connected to what exactly they needed. Else, probably I will not feel connected to that particular campaign, whether I have invested probably 100 USD or 100 crores, whatever it is. The entire money, the finances to it goes waste. So yes, a huge chance for us to even experiment, because as I said, these days marketing has become more affordable as compared to initially being more on the physical sites. There's a huge restriction on budget, but with this affordable marketing, I guess there's a huge chance where we can build and create and take the brand to the next level, with the vision, mission of the organization. So that's what I have to say, Anand.
Thank you so much. Deepti. That was great. Any closure remarks or thoughts while we wrap up? Komal, Rajesh, anything that you want to add?
Yeah, Anand, see, one important point again, I would say festive seasons will always remain the breadwinner for brands. Okay, that is going to be remaining for ages, because how much ever you may want to say, unless you bring that change in the marketing to connect with the brand on the emotional level, whether online or offline, okay, you need to bring some amount of diversion in the minds of the consumer, okay, because he is busy, he's occupied, he's stressed out, and that is going to be the order for many years to come. So I think festive marketing is going to be a very essential ingredient for every brand to recognize. People who have understood, brand marketeers have understood, many of them have understood way back before the pandemic. They have market, they have done beautifully. For others, they have learned it now. Okay, so I think festive marketing should be an ingredient, essential ingredient of every marketing, and that I call it building relevance, because that's where relevance comes. Because people are buying, people when they have money in hands, okay, and it can be 31st or 1st of every month, you can create a festival in the minds of every consumer, because he's going to get back money. Many people like investment, Reliance Insurance talked about 7th as an insurance by every 7th. They created and coined, entire insurance industry adopted that. So where I'm looking at is, you need to coin, you need to create days, you need to create, and this has been there for age-old days of India. It's not just now. We used to, my granny or everyone used to talk about Sankashti, used to talk about Mondays, you talk about so many things, days. For everything, there is a reason to celebrate. And I think this is the key part, which every marketer should keep in mind as festive marketing, is create reasons for celebration. And if we keep that in mind, I think every marketer will succeed.
Sure. All right. So, we are on top of the hour, and well, festive marketing is a great thing, but this time it is quite challenging, right? We all know that. While rolling out offers during festive time for a greater market share, or should I say wallet share, however, if you can establish the connect with your consumers, do you stand with them? That's where it makes all the difference, right? I'm not talking about only the CSR activities which big corporates run, okay? But I'm more coming from, what do you do from your shop to ensure that the lives are smoother for your customers or employees? And I would say you should let others know so that people can emulate. I was just having a discussion with somebody. Rajesh, you mentioned about Chyawanprash. So for all the Chyawanprash brands, right? Could you slash your prices or provide through, let's say, PTS, so that people below poverty line can afford it and gain immunity as well, right? Why not? Right? Could you do mohalla clinics, right? So that you can provide some sort of respite to places where government is not able to reach out to, right? Because you have a distribution system, you have a fair-fledged network, right? What did IT companies do for their stakeholders in making it easy and value addition for them, right? With so much time at home, could the MOOCs of the world, the online courses, given the trainings free or at throwaway prices to get a customer base, just imagine what sort of fan following they would have got. Right.
Yeah.
So these are just thoughts. Yeah, we would love to keep hearing from the leaders, but just like every good thing should come to an end, we end this session only to resume next fortnight. I hope we uncovered few of the relevant points, and it has been of great value add to your thought process. I sincerely thank you for your participation, contribution, and I'm confident that you would have enjoyed this enriching session as much as I did. Moreover, it's always beneficial to hear from the leaders directly live, but you can also watch the past webinar on CXOTV.news, our online platform for media sharing, exclusively for CXOs. I must share that Techplus Media is doing its bit in making India self-reliant under Atmanirbhar Bharat. With this, we call it a day. Thanks once again for your esteemed presence and wish you a great week ahead.
For more updates from CXOTV, please like and subscribe to our channel.